Hey guys, welcome back. We are on lesson 5 in Wit and Wisdom. So today, let's look at our chart. What do we notice and wonder about a text the first time we read it? So think about, what do you look at when you're reading a story? Well, we look at the words. We look exactly at how many words there are. We look at the illustrations, which are the pictures. We look at the details. What does it look like? Do we ask questions about things we don't understand? Yes. All right, so let's look at an image here that we have. Oh, might help it on. All right, so I have opened up the link that was there. This is called the snail. The snail. Can you see a snail in that illustration? So what I want you to do is, I want you to observe this picture. I want you to look at this picture. Think about the colors. Think about the pieces that are used. And I want you to be able to share what you notice about this piece of art. All right, so let's think about this. What do you notice? I notice the colored shapes. I notice there's a big blue rectangle down here. I notice there's one black one. Notice there's a bunch of white spaces. I also notice kind of goes in the shape of a snail, doesn't it? Wow. Kind of interesting, huh? Well, what do you wonder about this art? Well, I want to know, why did the artist choose such bright colors? You know, every time I think of colors, I think of happy colors, and these are like happy colors to me. Because dark colors remind me, oh, they're sad, they're gloomy, but these are bright and colorful. It makes me happy. Why did you think the author or the artist made this? Do you think maybe he likes snails? Maybe. I don't know. So who made this artwork? Well, the artist's name is Henri Matisse. Henri Matisse. And we will talk more about him later on in one of our other studies. But Henri Matisse is the artist of the snail. Quite an interesting piece. All right. So, our focus question, what lessons can we learn through stories about animals? And our content framing, what do I notice and wonder about 7 blind mice? So our focus, what lessons can we learn through stories about animals? Well, we've already been talking about the ant and the grasshopper, talked about the hare and the tortoise, and we've learned 2 lessons from each of those. Remember, with the grasshopper and the ant, it's like you need to work before you play. He went around hungry because he didn't do his job like he was supposed to. He was busy playing. And then if we look at the hare and the tortoise, the hare was making fun of the tortoise for being so slow. And they had a race, and guess who won the race? The tortoise, because he was very steady at the race. So let's move on. And I am going to read 7 blind mice to you. So let's pause this here. All right, and let me get my book. Oh, it's called Seven Blind Mice by Ed Young. And you notice it has a Caldecott honor on the front for what? The pictures. One day, 7 blind mice were surprised to find a strange something by their pond. "What is it?" they cried, and they all ran home. On Monday, Red Mouse went first to find out. "It's a pillar," he said. No one believed him. On Tuesday, Green Mouse set out. He was the second to go. "It's a snake," he said. "No," said Yellow Mouse on Wednesday. "It's a spear." He was the third in turn. The fourth was Purple Mouse. He went on Thursday. "It's a great cliff," he said. Orange Mouse went on Friday, the fifth to go. "It's a fan," he cried. "I felt it move." The sixth to go was Blue Mouse. He went on Saturday and said, "It's nothing but a rope." But the others didn't agree. They began to argue. A snake, a rope, a fan, a cliff. Until on Sunday, White Mouse, the seventh mouse, went to the pond. When she came upon the something, she ran up one side, she ran down the other, she ran across the top and from end to end. "Ah," said White Mouse, "now I see this something is as sturdy as a pillar, as supple as a snake, wide as a cliff, sharp as a spear, breezy as a fan, stringy as a rope, but altogether the something is." That's where I'm going to stop. Okay. So now let me bring up our chart. Okay, so now when we look through the book to notice things with the illustrations, what can you come up with? Think about things that you noticed in there. Well, I noticed there were mice. Good. And we noticed that they all saw something different, right? Okay. What did the red mouse see? The red mouse saw a what? A pillar. Good. What did the green mouse see? Oh, that's right. He saw the snake, didn't he? Oof. What about the yellow mouse? He saw the spear. Good. And what about the purple mouse? He saw a great cliff. And then the orange mouse, he saw a fan because he could feel it move. And the blue mouse, he thought he saw a rope, right? But then the white mouse came and he went from one side to the other side, up and down, and he saw something totally different, didn't he? Yeah. Wonder what he saw that they didn't. Now, can they see anything? No, why not? Because they're blind, right? They're blind. So they are seeing with what? They're seeing with their hands. They're touching, maybe smelling. They're trying to figure out what it is without seeing it with their eyes. So let's think about wondering about this book. If I use the wonder wheel, this right here, because I'm sure you've seen it already before, it's our question words. Who, where, why, what, how, and when. So when you wonder, you need to put a wonder question word there to help us try to figure out what's going on. So I wonder why they all didn't go all over this item back and forth like the white mouse did. I want to know why they didn't do that. Because only the white mouse did that. I also wonder if they know what this strange thing is. I don't know. And where do the mice see the strange something? It's a good question too. These are all great questions to think about. Let's go on. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here, or excuse me, not pause it. I'm going to take that down for just a moment, and we are going to look at this chart here for questioning. All right, we're going to list our questions on here so that way we can look back and try to figure out the answers to these questions. So we want to know, what is that strange something? We also want to know, why can't the other mice figure out what this something is? Okay, and then how does the white mouse figure it out? Good questions. So hopefully we'll come up with answers to those questions. And we might be able to answer them now, because reading the story, we've gotten some clues, haven't we? All right, so how does the structure of an informative paragraph work? We're going back to that hamburger chart. Remember, our informative paragraph is that hamburger. We've got the top bun, that is the topic sentence. That tells us what the story's about. And then we have the meat and the cheese and the lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles, which is the facts and the details. That's the good stuff, right? That's where all of those details are. And then we have the bun on the bottom, which is the conclusion. The conclusion holds it all in there. It restates our topic sentence. So an informative paragraph gives us information about a certain topic. So we've talked about the hare and the tortoise, and we're going to look at this in our next flip chart. So let's look at our next page so we can complete this. So the lesson of the hare and the tortoise: even if you are slow, if you keep going, you can win the race. What are some details that might support this lesson? So what are details that would support this lesson? Think about it. All right, so we know some details that might support this lesson is we know the tortoise kept going, didn't he? The tortoise kept going. He didn't give up. We also know that the tortoise didn't take a break, did he? Like the hare, because the hare took the break, didn't he? He took a nap. And that's what caused him to lose the race. The tortoise won the race. Great. Okay. So let's move forward from here. So looking back at our anchor chart, what was the lesson from the ants and the grasshopper? What was the lesson that we learned there? Do you remember? Was it plan ahead and work hard? Yes. So the lesson was plan ahead. Work hard. What was the lesson from the text then? There's a time for work and a time for play. Great. Now let's think about the hare and the tortoise. Even if you're slow, you can keep going to win the race. So even if you're slow, keep going. To win the race. Great. And the lesson from the text is, the race is not always to the swift. Good. All right. Let's erase so we can move forward. So, content framing, what do I notice and wonder about 7 blind mice? Well, we noticed quite a bit, didn't we? We noticed that they were different colors. We noticed that they saw something all differently, right? Okay. We know the white mouse found more out by running all over the object than they did by just touching one object. So you've got a fluency homework sheet, a new one. It's going home, or it should be in your packet. It's 7 Blind Mice by Ed Young. Should look like this. You can practice reading at home. All right, I'm going to read it to you what it says. Ah, now I see that something is as sturdy as a pillar, as supple as a snake, as wide as a cliff, as sharp as a spear, breezy as a fan, stringy as a rope, but altogether the something is an elephant. Okay, so that's your fluency homework. So make sure you practice that nightly, please. So, think about the shades of meaning for movement. Think about words that we've used that talks about movement. What words have we used before? We've used racing. We've used hurried. We've used scurried, skipping, diving, swerving, curving. All of those words talk about movement, right? Okay. And we talked about those the last lesson. So what you need to do now is you need to look at handout 5C and 3B, and we're going to put our words from light to dark. So that means we are going to do the exact same thing we did with our movement words. We're going to do a shades of meaning with using a different word. So now we're going from light to dark. So find that sheet, 5C. Okay, and it should look like this sheet that's got different colors of gray. Goes from a light gray all the way down to a very dark gray. And you're going to use those same words that we used on 3B for movement, like the flit, the hurrying, the swerving, the racing, the scurrying, and the curving. And you are going to place those words in order from light to dark, which means from slowest to quickest. All right, do you remember how we did that? Okay, so that's what you need to work on in your deep dive. So there's our shades of meaning, all right? So let's look at our words. I'm gonna write our words back up here, not in any particular order, and let's put them in our shades of meaning. So we have the word flit, we have hurrying, we have swerving, racing, scurrying, curving. Okay, so we have those 6 words. So let's think about our words. Which movement there was the least? Probably flit, right? So I'm just going to put it in the middle of our gray band there. So I'm going to take flit off. So what would be our next word that would show another movement? Curving or swerving? Yes. So I'm going to write curving on one line and swerving on another line. So I'm going to take those off, curving and swerving. So what's my next motion? Scurrying or racing? Well, we know racing is the quickest, so it's going to be our bottom word. So I'm going to go ahead and put racing down here. at the bottom because that's the fastest. All right. So what word is going to come before racing? Probably hurrying, wouldn't you think? Okay. And so then we'll put scurrying right there. So that way we've listed our words from slowest to quickest in our shades of meaning chart. So we have flit, curving, swerving, scurrying, hurrying, and racing. Great job, guys. All right, guys, that is the end of our lesson 5. Until next time, see you later.